Today we're quite fortunate to have with us one of our dear teachers, Saad Rahim. So inshallah today we'll be hearing a few words from them. Inshallah.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadihi allazina istafa, khususan ala sayyidi wa rasulil khatam al-anbiya wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli wa nusallim ala rasulihi al-kareem. Amma ba'd, fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين مالك يوم الدين الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله الصلاة والسلام عليك يا حبيب الله السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. All praise belongs to Allah Azza wa Jal, who has created us, who has given us sustenance and made us from nothing, and has given us everything that we need to live and everything that we need to know Him. And all salam and durood upon the greatest of messengers and the greatest of mankind and human being and creation, which is none other than the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has taught everyone how to live and how to remember Allah and how to attain the greatest pleasure. Alhamdulillah, you brothers, alhamdulillah, you've sacrificed time and effort in order to remember the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Like we have listened to some of the blessed poetry about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and even living through this life, and how lucky we are to be in the greatest of times, which is to be in the ummati of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now everyone wished that they were to live at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but I would say that Allah Azza wa Jal knows better than us that the timing that He has given to every being was the best for them. Because if we were to be at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, maybe we would become their enemy rather than their friend. Maybe we would be in the party of the disbelievers and the party of the enemy rather than his party and his army and his closeness. But it's a fortunate time that we actually, the companions have all struggled to actually show the people how to live, and they established Islam and established the ways of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And all we have to do is just to follow. At that time, they were showing the people how to establish. They had to go against their own brothers, own fathers. Even Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq was against his children at the time of war. When his child became Muslim, he mentioned to Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq that, "Oh my father, there was many times you came under my sword at the time of jihad, but many times you came under my sword that I could have struck you and you would have been killed. But because you were my father, I stopped myself and I went to some other person and fought with them." And Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, he mentioned, "Even once if you came under my sword, I would not even rest to strike you, because you, at that time, you were against the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam." Imagine the iman and the faith of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, that even his child is willing to sacrifice against the command of Allah and the sayings and following the words of the Prophet ﷺ. The love he had of the Prophet ﷺ was more than his children, more than his family. He's willing to sacrifice. So really, now, what is the sacrifice now that we have? Now sacrifice is against what people think, is the people's mindset. So people always wonder what other people are saying. What would my neighbors say? What would my friends say? What will people say if I follow the sunnah, if I grow a beard, if I dress like this, if my name is like this? You know, if what will my work colleagues say? I must go to these places. So what is other people's perception? This is what we are thinking. We are struggling. This is our enemy now, rather than family as such. So now it's people's mindset. So you should always imagine, like one of the sayings in the books, that you should live as though you are a traveler. You should live as though you are a traveler, and you should live as though this is the last day in your life. This is the last day in your life. Some of the sayings in the books. So now if you really reflect on this, this is really the mindset of the Prophet ﷺ. Have you ever thought, what does this mean? To live as though you are a traveler. To live as though you are a traveler, what does that really mean in this life? To live as though you are only going to be living once. Like people say, imagine this is your last salah. How many salahs have gone and it wasn't our last? But the mindset that we are taught to have, to imagine that this was our salah, this was our last day. Because if it really was our last day and our last minute, then every person that we will meet will treat them as though it will be our last time we'll see them. Last time we'll see our parents. Imagine how many times we say goodbye to our parents who are living and we go to work. But that might have been our last time we have seen them. So how many times we see our family members, maybe that was the last time we would see them. Because if we thought this was the last time we would see them, or we'll see them, then we'll give them so much honor, we'll give them that time. We wouldn't think tomorrow is another day, I'll talk to them tomorrow. We'll give them that time, we'll give them that effort in order to spend that time with them. And we'll listen to them even more wisely, that this is their last word to us, and I have to remember this. Because if this is our last day, it's going to be an end at the end of the day. So how would you see this world then? If it will be your last salah, then that salah would be as though when you're doing wuzu, imagine this is the last time I will do wuzu. Last time these waters are going to be used in my body to wash away my sins. Imagine how much concentration that you would be. Imagine we just do this, wash our hands. But really, when we're washing our hands, what does it mean when we wash our hands? We're asking Allah Azza wa Jal to actually purify the hands that we have used during the day, so that when we are in salah, that we can actually surrender our hands to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we say Allahu Akbar, we surrendered everything. When the police say surrender yourself, we give our hands. But when we say Allahu Akbar, we're giving our whole body now. When we're doing wuzu, we asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are my hand I have given to you. My hand I will use the way your words are, the way the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, the way your beloved Prophet has said. So when we are doing wuzu, imagine this is one aspect you should really ponder. This is our last day and our last time even doing wuzu. How would we think? Then we're washing our face. Imagine the water that's on our face. It purifies any water on our eyes that we spent in sins. The tongue, when the water is going inside the mouth, the tongue that has been used not in the remembrance of Allah, not in the praise of Allah, rather than the degrading of people, or swearing of people, or backbiting of people. The eyes that has not remembered Allah or saw something other than the remembrance of Allah. The whole ears, when the ears, because this is the ears are also touched as well. The whole body, then you got the hands, the feet are also washed as well. Even the head, when we're doing the Musa, when the head is wiped, what does that mean? When you should think, you should remember Allah, you should use your mind to ponder upon Allah Azza wa Jal and the hereafter, rather than creating fantasies and what you're going to do tomorrow, what you're going to eat tomorrow, what others are saying, planning sins, or thinking of sins. Why not think of Allah and His messengers? So if this really is your life, you ask Allah, when you are doing the Musa, you think, oh Allah, turn my mind into the mind of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Any mind that I have not used in your remembrance, oh Allah, purify these things. Your feet, imagine how many places we go towards so many places to do bad things. So many places shaitan is leading people. So when we're really doing wuzu, imagine you should think as though your whole feet is being washed, whatever places you have been. So this is one aspect. What to say about salah. Imagine how your salah would be if it is your last day. How your salah would be your last day. It will be as though you never want to get up. It will be as though you always want to be, when you say Allahu Akbar, you want to be in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't want to leave salah. You always want to be standing in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We hear Allahu Akbar all the time. So what does Allahu Akbar mean? We hear the azan, Allah is great. What does it mean? It means that really when you have shown that everything else is nothing, only Allah is greater than everything, even yourself. Allah is greater than me, greater than the problems I have. He the one who can solve everything. Allah is the most greater. Allah is the most helpful. He's greater in all aspects of life. The most great giving, the great of forgiveness. He listens to everything. He's great of understanding. He's greater than everything. And you know what? This is actually the first word we hear when we enter this world. The azan is called when our parents, when we enter this world, the azan is called. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar is the first word when a child actually enters this world. He hears this word to remind himself that, remember that everything else is nothing and Allah is the most greatest. Allah is greater than any problem, so go to Him. Allah can help you in all aspects of life. So everyone has problems, but Allah has all solutions. So now if this was your last day, what would you do? Ponder upon this. How would you use your time? Time is such a thing that you can never get back. People do education, they think they can't do GCSEs, A-levels, degree. They can do all of this when they're 50, 60, still they can do it. But one thing you can't get back is time. Time is such that everyone wished, even the people who have passed from this life in the grave, they wish that they had a little bit more time in this world, just to say few words, Subhanallah. The meaning of Subhanallah, when a person says Subhanallah, such greatness there is. Imagine that even in the paradise a tree is grown, palaces are grown. How greatness person gets closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So everyone has time, but it depends how you use this time. And everyone will be wishing that they had time again in this life. So this is, you can say, wherever situation you are in, whatever time you have come in this world, this is the greatest time for you. And this is the greatest time that we have going through. This was the time of the coming of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rabiul Awwal was a time when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered this world, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the most beloved to this world. Imagine someone who loves something so much. It's very hard to give. If I love this chadar or a coat or a jacket, it's very hard to give someone this thing. This is why you see in charity, people give their old stuff. They never give the new stuff that they brought. They give their old stuff. Something that they never wear now. Something which has gone short, or they give their old stuff. You never see someone, it's got tags still on when they give to charity. Have you seen this? Tags are still on the jackets and they're still giving. It's very rare to find someone like that. So imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given His most beloved, someone He loves so much, He's given to this creation to benefit. And the people have made so much trial on this person, on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his beloved. But still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave, because why? To benefit all of us. Imagine, this is how much love Allah Azza wa Jal loves all of us, that He's given the most beloved being to Him. Why would you give, if something is so beloved to you, I would not share it with anyone. Very rare people share. But Allah has shared it to the whole creation, that this is my beloved. Learn from him. This is how I want everyone to be. And He sent in this world. This is why the Prophet ﷺ is mentioned that he is rahmatil lil alamin. He is the most merciful to all of mankind, all of this world. He is rahmat for those who know him. Those who follow him, then rahmah will come into their life. Blessing will come into their life. So one should know and try to focus. This month is the month of that we are passing, the month which is going through, that the Prophet ﷺ had entered this month. So now the question is that how has he entered our life? Has the Prophet ﷺ entered my life? He's come in this world, he's benefited many people. But the question is that has he ﷺ entered my heart? Is my heart in the love of the Prophet ﷺ? Is it in the love of his sunnah? Am I giving preference to his love more than everyone else? Because imagine the Prophet ﷺ and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us 70 times more than our mothers. Imagine even when we go home now, they will ask, have you eaten? What have you eaten? What time did you eat? They're always concerned. What time, when are you going to come home? They wait for us. People are married, still they will ask, have you eaten? This is the love of a mother, one mother. What to say, someone who loves you 70 times more than your own parent. Imagine how much love. In the day of judgment, imagine when the decision has been made, who will go to hellfire, who will go to paradise. When the decisions have been made, the people of paradise will be happy that they will be in paradise. They will be enjoying the fruits of paradise, the palaces. They will see what they will get. Imagine, bigger than this world, they will receive such beauty. They will be so happy. The people in hellfire will be miserable, they will be crying, but the decision has been made. Imagine all these people, decision, but yet still there will be one person still unhappy, which is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They will be concerned. They will not even enter paradise. And it will be asked to them that why are you still upset? Many people have entered that you have received, they have received your shifa. Why are you still upset? Because oh Allah, because still they are my ummati, they're still my believers, my followers still in hellfire. Imagine the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal, does go and get them there. Imagine, so when it will be told to go and get. The angels will not go to get the people from hellfire, but it will be the Prophet ﷺ who will enter hellfire. Imagine, enter hellfire. Then hellfire will become cool because it's a creation of Allah. It will become cool as soon as the Prophet ﷺ enters hell. Coolness will become apparent, and it will be the Prophet ﷺ who will then take the people out of hellfire. This is how much love that the Prophet ﷺ has for me and you. Every Thursday, every Friday or so, all our amals are sent to the Prophet ﷺ. Imagine what we do, it is reported to Allah Azza wa Jal. We all know this. The angels here write down all the deeds that we have done, all the good deeds, all the bad deeds. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also sends it to His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is also announced. Because why is being sent to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam? It's like he is the father of all the ummah. Imagine, because he is the teacher of all the ummah. He wants to know how his children are doing, how his followers are doing. Every night, even now he's not resting in his grave. Because why? Because he is worried about the ummah. The worry has not ended for him. It will never end until everyone enters paradise. So this is why if we really love someone, then we do everything for them. If you really love your wife or someone you are in love with, then you do everything to please them. If you love your parents, you do everything to please them. If you love your children, you do anything. What to say about the love of the Prophet ﷺ? So we only live once. We only live once. But we wish we live again and again. So we should use this time until again this life is gone. Many people's life is coming and going. Many spirits are leaving this world. Many people are leaving and some are coming. Imagine how many janazah have we been? How many times we went to East London Mosque? How many times we've been to, and we see their faces. We see the bodies. We see Brother Bashir, but Brother Bashir is not there. The body of Bashir, but where is Bashir gone? Where is that brother gone? He's not there anymore. That's his body. But where is he? His spirit has moved to the next world. So we are still living now. It is a reminder really. This is why we come together every so often and try to redirect ourselves, because this life, it has many distractions. Tomorrow, and day after we go back to work, we go to study again. It's like a routine, and this sometimes can be distraction when we are living this world. But don't let it distract you from the purpose. You should try and focus and return yourself. This is why these months it should be a reflection of how we live. The month of Rabiul Awwal and so forth. This is a month that we should reflect, bring the life of the Prophet ﷺ into our life. So we should live as though we are living through the eyes of the Prophet ﷺ. So have this mindset that you should live as though this is your last day. You should live as though you are a traveler, because this person, like today you are in this room, tomorrow you might not be. You will travel to Akhirah. You travel to the grave. You travel to hospital, then the grave, and it's too late. And this is why it's very important that we remind ourselves, because every reminder, it benefits the believer. So inshallah, may Allah enable us to live our life as though this is the last day in our life.
Ameen.
And to live as though living through the eyes of the Prophet ﷺ. Because if we look at the eyes, through the eyes of the Prophet ﷺ, everything will be different. What people are saying will keep it as nothing. People are always concerned what people are saying, what people are doing, what that person going to say, of I heard he said this about you, or she said this about you. People are always distracted upon this. They take little thing and make it into such a big thing. If we look through the eyes of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, everything should be what will happen afterwards, the end goal, which is to be, will one day be in grave. Every world will end. People are saving for the house to build in this world. These houses are you're not going to live forever in these houses. You're not going to live these houses are also going to be destroyed. The true house that you are going to live is the house you create in the grave. The house you keep in your heart. This will talk. This will enter you inside the grave. So become friend with the grave, meaning that you should look forward to being in the grave. But that's where is peace really. Don't be afraid of it. So inshallah, may Allah enable all of us to inshallah listen and use these reminders to benefit ourselves before we return. And may Allah enable everyone to live as though they're living with the Prophet.
So we'll now set up for a short dhikr, and then inshallah after we'll so if the brothers give me a hand and just move the chair.